we're always excited to be here at Portchester. It's kind of like a holy ground for Deadheads, and it's our church.
The Capitol Theater was first opened on August 18, 1926 in Portchester, New York, as a cinema and vaudeville theater. Its opening night sold out all 2,000 seats and hundreds had to be turned away. At the beginning, Sunday's double feature matinee was 5 cents to enjoy classic hits like Casablanca, Gone with the Wind, and The Taming of the Shrew in the luxurious movie theater. The theater continued to be used as a movie theater until the late 60s when live music became popular. Concert promoter Howard Stein transformed the theater into a psychedelic performance venue and hosted almost every major rock band at the time.
And that's when it got turned into the sort of rock palace era with, James Taylor, Frank Zappa, Grateful Dead 18 Times, Jethro Tull, Jefferson Airplane, Country Joe, Janis Joplin, so many legendary people who came through.
Many amazing shows and songs came out of the few years the theater was open during this time. The Grateful Dead played 13 dates at the Cap between 1970 and 1971, even debuting new songs at shows. Many fans believe that these 13 shows were some of the best the band ever played. Janis Joplin also debuted her song Mercedes-Benz at the theater, performing it a cappella just after writing it at a bar on the corner to the surprise of her band.
Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz?
By the mid-70s, the theater had been shut down and remained dark until the early 80s when it was purchased and renovated by local developer Marvin Racknoff. It continued to be used for movies and rock bands like Phish and Blues Traveler.
And faintly bouncing round the room, the echo of whomever spoke. And I awoke, and faintly bouncing round the room, the echo of whomever spoke.
Until the theater was turned into a catering hall for weddings, formals, and other events in 1997.
And then in 2012, Peter Shapiro, the music entrepreneur, who he also owns, he owned Wetlands Preserve in the 90s in New York City, Brooklyn Bowl. He owns a company that promotes concerts as well, just on their own, and he bought and renovated the Capitol Theater and reopened it on September 4th, 2012, with a Bob Dylan concert. So what we're really trying to do is just create the best place for fans to see live music. We have a really cool position for ourselves, being outside of New York but so close to the city. A very modern and progressive venue in terms of video and lights and sound and projections, but also having, that old sort of Art Deco sort of 1920s vibe to it. I think it's just a really cool place to see a show. And, I hope that people make a trip when they can.
And here is the Jerry Garcia Band live on the radio.
There is a connecting bar called Garcia's after the late Grateful Dead guitarist Jerry Garcia. The bar is filled with his mementos, including guitars he played and photos of him performing at the Cap. Garcia's has live music most nights of the week and hosts bands like Daniel Donato's Cosmic Country, Finders Keepers, and One Time Weekend, as well as R&B, funk, bluegrass, psych rock, jazz, and rock and roll. With its smaller size and friendly workers and regulars alike, the Capitol Theater is often referred to as a family. Phil Lesh has said that playing at the Cap feels like coming home to a family of old friends.
Yeah, I think the Cap, what the Cap family represents is more just like the greater Westchester County music scene and the greater Grateful Dead jam music scene. You know, because on the one hand, you know, you come here and we like, you know, you see like the people in your neighborhood, you know, you see it, we have like regulars, you see the same people over and over. We have the same usher showing you to your seat. You know, we have you know, the same people working the doors and working the ticketing booths, right? But then also, so that's, you know, our Cap fam, but then also as part of the like greater Grateful Dead jam scene, you know, it's become sort of like a meeting place over the years where, you know, like you're going to see your friends there, you know, you're going to see people there who are at the same show. So that's like definitely sort of the appeal of what keeps people coming back, is that like family vibe, family atmosphere. Hopefully you feel welcomed and you have a good time at the show. And like, hopefully like part of the Cap fam is also the artist, and like we bring amazing artists in, and, you know, they give their energy to the crowd gives their energy back to them, and it just sort of feeds into each other and keeps hopefully forever making these like really cool nights that people keep wanting to come to.
We had a fairly short but illustrious run here, but this place was always at the top of the list. We looked forward to coming here because we knew we were going to have a good night, and that's what we lived for.
So I think people hear about the Cap, but really like you have to experience a show there yourself to really like feel it. It's more of the Cap fam is definitely like a feeling than it is like any people in particular.
Concertgoers arrive early to the Capitol Theater to meet up with friends before the show and check out Shakedown Street, a tradition that started in the 80s at Grateful Dead shows. Lot vendors usually follow the band from venue to venue, selling everything from grilled cheese to archived posters from past shows. Many people also peruse the lot hoping for a miracle, otherwise known as a free ticket to the show, which is another tradition that started in the 80s at Shakedown Street.
I believe at the Capitol Theater, it's always been sort of that street fair kind of vibe. You know, that's something like that's an example of it being the Cap fam, you know, like that's not something we do as a theater. That's something that the fans do and congregate and come together themselves. And it just like adds to part of it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's always been sort of across the street, sort of, yeah, just across the street on that corner.
More time?
Rob Robinson, Damn Sam Productions, New York Harvest Fest. Oh man, we came here Friday night for one night to see Phil.
Yep.
It's now Sunday. We're gonna go see Phil tonight again. We want this to be a community that people can look at and respect. And we know we're not counter to the culture. We are the culture. America's got to get that. So we're like really excited about the future of our scene because we're starting to care again. People, there's a feeling again that people want to help themselves, and change each other. That's how it all begins.
There you go. You think that feeling's still alive today?
More than ever. I don't think I used to think I missed the 60s. This is way more important time. This is it. This is when it's got to happen. And I do have a lot of faith in the up-and-coming generation. Even though the zombie apocalypse kids with the phones in front of them, they're yearning for something. And elders got to show them what we got.
Your message to the upcoming generation.
We are beautiful, and we can be whatever we want to be. And whatever you are, you're not counter to the American culture. You are the American culture.
That's a wrap, man.
Damn
Thank
straight.
you.
Rob
Damn
Robinson.
fucking straight.